Good afternoon, squad. I'm Sergeant Jagris, and today I'm giving you guys an information briefing. The purpose of this briefing is to inform you guys about the differences between the Chinese Army squads as well as our Army squads and how we can use those differences to our advantage. So throughout this brief, you guys will be informed about the composition, strength, disposition, and capabilities of not only the Chinese Army, but as well as ours. So the composition, as you can see right here, this is the weapons of the Chinese squad, and then it has the Americans equivalent. And then right here we have the weapon symbol and the max effective ranges. So as you can see, they have a QBZ-95, for example, the equivalent to our M4. They also have a version of a rocket launcher, sniper, and their vehicle down here is a CSK-141, which is the equivalent to our Striker. Although they're not the exact same weapon systems or vehicles, their capabilities are very similar. So as far as how they're organized, you have the headquarters, the machine gun team, and the anti-tank team. In the headquarters, you have the squad leader, assistant squad leader, and driver. The main weapon systems they have are the multi-purpose machine gun, which is mounted on their vehicle, which will be shot by the driver when the squad is dismounted. And as you can see in these two teams, they're lacking team leaders, right? So in the machine gun team, they obviously have their machine gun as well as their sniper, and the anti-tank team has their rocket launcher. Another thing is the squad leader and assistant squad leader are the only one with NVGs. So yeah, that's pretty important because in comparison to ours, right, we're all gonna have NVGs and we have team leaders, like I said, and their strength, right? As you saw, they only have 9 soldiers in one squad, and they have one vehicle, which we have 11 soldiers, but we also have one vehicle. And the weapons that are carried in each squad, right, they got 6 rifles, and 2 of which have a grenade launcher attached. They have a sniper, light machine gun, the general purpose machine gun, which is on the CSK, like I mentioned earlier, and the pistol, which is going to be carried by the squad leader, and then they have the rocket launcher, which is in the anti-tank team. So how they fight, right? So their main principles of offense are quality over quantity, right? They don't really care as much to kind of overwhelm their enemies with sheer numbers. It's more about being precise with their weapons and their people and making sure they're arrayed on the battlefield right to best impact and win. They also like to know their enemy's capabilities before going into fight and how they can use those to their advantage, which is exactly what we are here to do today, right? And they like to isolate enemy formations, unit coordination, right? Making sure that their friendly units to the right and left of them are going to work together to seize the enemy. Decentralized operations, that's basically saying like giving the option up to like commanders of what to do, right? Giving them like free leeway to make in the moment decisions to best win the fight. They do emphasize aggression, right? And they have 3 ambush types: waiting, decoy, and forced, which we also have ambushes, as you guys know. And when it comes to their defensive principles, right, they have a huge emphasis on the counterattack. So what they like to do is kind of draw you in and act like they're kind of falling back, and then they're gonna take advantage of that. And they try to consolidate power in really good like key terrain areas, right, high ground or maybe where there's great cover and concealment. They also like to target the enemy lines of communications, right? If they're getting overwhelmed, but all of a sudden their enemies can no longer communicate, right? They're not going to be able to effectively overcome them. So that's one thing that we really have to take into account, right? Is making sure we can always communicate with each other, keep those lines intact. So their capabilities, right? One of the main things to point out is they have a sniper and we do not, right? So that's one thing that we have to keep an eye out for, right? 9 soldiers, and we have 11, which kind of gives us the advantage here. Their leadership, right? They have a squad leader and an assistant squad leader. We only have one squad leader, right? But they do lack team leaders. So the leadership is kind of similar, but kind of different at the same time. They have similar vehicle capabilities, right? And they do carry mortars, right? But theirs are 60 millimeter. We have 60 millimeter and 120 millimeters. So how I propose that we counter this Chinese rifle squad is probably doing night raids, right? Because as I said earlier, the squad leader and assistant squad leader are the only one with NVGs. And if we attack at night, there's nothing they can really do about that. Close ambushes, right? That's to kind of account for that sniper, right? If we're close and we're attacking them, that sniper's not going to be able to be as effective as it would if it were up in like a nest of some sort. Obviously, we got to be careful with our fire and match the effects of fire. Destroy the most casualty-producing weapons first. Put a big focus on destroying their CSK, and getting that out of the fight is really important because their CSK with the mounted multi-purpose machine gun is going to be what would really hurt us if they were in the fight the entire time. Also, we got to keep in mind not to get too aggressive. Like, if we're really doing good and kind of beating them down, we got to make sure we don't keep pushing forward into an area that exposes our flanks because, like I said, the Chinese are waiting for that. They're waiting to do a counterattack. So in conclusion, we went over the composition, strength, and disposition, as well as capabilities of the Chinese squads, as well as ours. So some things to keep in mind, right? For composition, we have similar weapon systems, but different organizations of squads, right? They have squad leader and assistant squad leader. We just have one squad leader and team leaders, right? And then strength, right? 9 versus 11, but they also have a sniper. They focus on quality, aggression, isolation, decentralization, and counterattacks. When it comes to their capabilities, right, they lack team leaders, but they do have the assistant squad leader and that sniper, right? Heavy emphasis on the sniper and getting close to kind of put that out of use. So this concludes today's brief. But yeah, keep these main things in mind. Here are my sources for the pictures and information that I spoke about. Thank you.